On the banks of the Nirida River, where the water seems endless and the jungle envelops everything, rises a small, distant city. In Nirida, capital of the Guainia department, it is known as the land of many waters, and anyone who visits it falls in love with its landscapes, its people, and its culture. Here, nature speaks powerfully, and time seems to move more slowly. But India also has another side, one less photographed, one less reported on, the side of poverty, stage neglect, and the daily struggle for survival. It is a beautiful but forgotten land.
In the city, many residents live with basic service. There is no seven seats, and when it rains, which it alters every day, the water force on tap because breathing broom for mosquitoes and dancing in my neighborhood there is aren't constant electric, and when needs fast the darken highs white to air. Robotics drone use and constant fleets in insecurity. Employment is a not face of the crisis. Most people do not have an afford hoped on a small income. They service only what they can't feed slim things on the streets, taking out house.
Many believe that the poorest areas in Colombia are Chocó or La Guajira, but the more recent data figures show a different reality. Guainia, along with Baupés and Bichada, lead the multidimensional poverty indicators in the country. Here, 65% of the population is poor, more than triple the national average of 19.6%, and 85% of its inhabitants are indigenous, which also reveals a historical debt to indigenous peoples. Multidimensional poverty is not just about money, it is measured in 5 dimensions: health, education, housing conditions, work, and access to services. In other words, even if someone has an income, they can still be poor if they do not have clean water, a decent roof, or access to quality healthcare and education. In 2023, Guinea had a 52% rate of this type of poverty, and in rural areas and population centers, the figure rises to 57%, while in the municipal capitals, it is 46%, equally alarming.
Understood is the travel of to discriminating violence in Guinea. More than 2,400 victims of the urban conflict reach Soviet for the assistance for the state. They are people who have lost their last day or are their historic and would not much start over sleep. Programs such as Colombia Mayor Renta Ciudadana, Refuge and Renta Juvenil provide financial support to these families. In 2022, for example, 520 older adults benefits 514 for people revenge runs 1,352 already rented ciudadana and fighting youth people are part of renta joven. Natural proposed social as financing more at 1.4 million pesos in the monetary reference, but the challenge is no use provenient money Both offer structured solutions they had changed familiar start on their own to fit. That with the country government in working on a never staying the compass, national conflicts for choosing for lasting solution. This is documental set to transform the way in which victims of the conflicts are determined. Each not whose award prevents the burning and put about working are working or company service that how they to prevent that is lived within. This plan includes coordination on the with entities coordinating within the natural and territory and adapting the state service so that they aren't remain sustained and transformative.
Despite everything, inequality continues to mark the pace of life in Guinea. Victims of forced displacement continue to face alarming levels of poverty. In 2023, 47.2% live in monetary poverty and 17.8% in extreme poverty. These are painful figures. These are faces that resist. Guinea is not just a remote department, it is a mirror of the deepest parts of the country, of those invisible Colombians that cry out to be heard. Between rivers, jungle, and dignity, thousands of people continue to hope that development will not pass them by. This documentary is not an end, it's an invitation to look, to understand, and to act. In addition, more than 2,400 people displaced by violence live in Guinea, assisted by the COMPES Lasting Solutions program. There, Prosperity Social has invested more than 1.4 billion pesos in cash transfers, such as citizen income, youth income, and VAT refunds. But they recognize that the challenge is to offer a structural solution, not just temporary subsidies. In extreme conditions, in Irida, the departmental capital suffers from frequent blackouts, flooding due to rains, mosquito-friendly grounds, and a lack of sewage treatment. Employment and informality force families to subsist through fishing, street trading, and informal labor without access to a stable income.
Recent years, Colombia has made significant progress in reducing multimedia power according to TANI, National Approach Against its indicators for fighting aging in 2023 to fighting AIDS in 2044 and the national level implementing and conversion prevention on to beyond money and basically education health homes and employment as yet use the best in good states there are starting continuing to fight. But the reality in Guinea is different with the national average is preventing extreme conditions practicing across 14 nations, but the population facing multi-nation parenting a figure that is not only doubled the national average but is also more acute in rural areas. Informal work, lack of basic education, limited and lack of access to drinking water at second the everyday barring and limited any possibility for progress.